Hi and welcome back to the mayhem of the WMD, that's Woody's Modelling Diary workshop, the man cave. Been a couple of weeks since the last update on this layout. Now normally my progress on things would be measured in glacial terms. Take a long time to do things and I get diverted onto other projects. But I've actually probably inspired by the last video, which thank you very much for those of you who have subscribed and liked viewing that video. It's probably inspired me to get on with things a little bit quicker than I would normally. So what's been happening? Well, this sort of area here I've sort of vegetated using some products from both Pico and Woodland Scenic. Pico static grass, which I've applied with this Gauge Master puffer bottle. Basically you put your scenic or static grass into the bottle, shake it about. It does have a sort of weird top to it which allows the grass to come up. Shaking it up gives it that sort of electric static feel to it, so when you apply it to your glue it does much the same as the electronic ones do, but at a fraction of the price. This costs about £5, £5 or £6 if you search around. A electronic one will probably cost somewhere in the region of a decent one, £40 to £100. I quite like the little puffer bottle. It does give that ability to get into small areas without having to cover everything in static grass, which sometimes is what you get with the large applicators. I do have a Pico one which I use for large areas, but you could do quite a large area with that little puffer bottle. A little bit of sort of Woodland Scenic foliage just added, and all I've used is PVA glue there and literally just dropped it in and pressed it in. A couple of little bunches of flowers just to give a little bit of colour, and also the bridge across the stream here. I've got the basics of that. It still needs fastening in and levelling up, but it just gives me the basics for what I want to do there. The village itself is a little bit more populated with a couple of vehicles. I've put back my Leyland National Bus, which was a Pico kit, and if you do go onto my blog, Woody's Modelling Diary WMD, there are a few posts which cover the construction of that. In my usual way, I didn't actually follow the instructions on building it, because I don't think you can really get a good finish following the instructions that are given. I did it slightly different. I built the body and then inserted the interior, and theoretically you shouldn't be able to do that, but I managed a way to do it. So if you want to find out about that, go to the blog and search on bus or buses, and it should bring it up. One of those things which I've really found useful in adding to the layout is this back scene. It's a Gauge Master back scene. It's about a 10-foot roll, comes in 3 pieces. I've mounted it to some foam board which is velcroed to the back of the layout. I managed to get it on Amazon for about just under £8, and it really does suit the layout in my opinion. Yeah, it certainly adds some depth to it. So if you haven't got a back scene, well worth considering one. You don't have to pay a fortune for them. There's all sorts out there, from industrial to countryside, so there's something for everybody. Now that's quite surprising. I actually managed to apply the brakes and get it in the right place, which for me, as a driver of a train, that's amazing. Just a little bit about the Quarry. The hoppers and the loading chute. Scratch built from plasticard, quite literally had no idea of what it was going to look like and just made something up. I think I've been influenced by Gold Rush, if you've watched that programme, and certainly the things they construct out there don't seem to have any plans to them, they just happen. And that's what this was. Whether it would actually work in real life is extremely doubtful, but it looks effective. So never be afraid of building something yourself, even if you don't think it would work in real life. A little bit about what I term as a canal wharf. The Barge is a Craftline Models balsa kit. Phil Parker sort of covered making one of those in his blog. It's fairly simple to do. Possibly not the most realistic of models, but it still comes out nice. I've managed to knock the chimney off mine, which you can just see on the red roof there. There's a little bit of a beige blob where there should be a chimney. The cobbles are basically embossed sheet, and I've got to stick some of those parts down again. At the top, I'll put the sign back in properly. That's Two Sheds Fred Trading. That's his two sheds. They've still got to get some stuff in there to actually start trading with. The two buildings which back onto the station. One is the DePaul shop and the other is the DePaul thatched cottage. Done a little bit of work on the gardens, but just like true life, I'm no gardening expert. But it looks reasonable. I just need to put the fence back up as well. You will find with any model railway, no matter what you do with it and how well you look after it, mysteriously bits will fall off or break or drop, and you'll only when you start putting a camera on it will you really see those bits. And it's always the embarrassing time when somebody comes around to have a look, when you say, that's never done that like that before. But that's what this hobby is about. So anyway, let's just have a couple more trains running around, and then we'll call it a day for this update. If you've been following me, thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that you'll come back again and see what else is happening in the world of Woody's Modelling Diary. Take care of yourselves. Bye.